মুদাসির, তুমি কি আমাকে শুনতে পাচ্ছ?
ये भी बंद कर देना, ये आ रही है शायद, बस ठीक है, या ओके।
মুদাসির, তুমি কি শুনতে পাচ্ছ আমাদেরকে?
Bless you. What's this? I don't hear anything.
मुझे नहीं रहा कुछ।
Did.
Just to the Manila team, when the video comes, Mamoon will be playing the video and focusing the spotlight part of the sequence. Other than that, you guys will be starting the program, right?
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
President-elect Ramon Magsaysay in 1953 held so much promise. With his country only 7 years out of the war, Filipinos felt that he was the leader who truly represented the masses and would direct the country's growth. He was young, his energy was boundless, and his commitment to serve the people was unquestionable.
I believe that the President should set the example of a big heart, an honest mind, sound instincts, the virtue of healthy impatience, and an abiding love for the common man.
Before we begin today's program, we would like to remind the audience of the following. The video and audio functions of our audience will be disabled during the lecture. For questions, clarifications, and/or comments, we encourage everyone to use the Q&A tab and the chat room in the Zoom webinar or the comment section in Facebook or YouTube. We will try to address as many relevant questions and comments during the session. Please be respectful in the chat room, Q&A tab, and comment section. Please follow the Ramon Magsaysay Award on our social media accounts in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. For more information on the Ramon Magsaysay Award and this year's laureates, please visit our website at www.rmaward.asia. Thank you for joining us today. We will begin the program in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome to the first installment of the 2023 Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Leadership Institute Lecture Series, featuring this year's Ramon Magsaysay Awardee for Emergent Leadership, KORVI RAKSHAND of Bangladesh. He will be sharing with us his journey as he steers Jago Foundation through his madness to improve education access and quality in his country. He will be joined later by a panel of experts as they share their take on KORVI's presentation. After that, the floor will be open to questions from the audience. To formally open our event, please welcome to your grid the President of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation, Ms. Susan B. Afan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am so happy to be here with all of you this morning. The Ramon Magsaysay lecture series is a one-of-a-kind, very exciting opportunity for us to highlight. Hold on. Sorry about this. I'm having some technical difficulties. There you go. Okay, let me just repeat this. Sorry about this. All right. Let me start again. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. The Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Leadership Institute lecture series is one of the very exciting highlights of every Ramon Magsaysay Awards Festival season. Through our lecture series, the public is given a one-of-a-kind opportunity and access to our Ramon Magsaysay laureates. It is a chance for us to learn about their unique leadership journeys and extraordinary work. Today, we have the pleasure and privilege to listen, interact, and engage with one of Asia's champions of education for all, KORVI RAKSHAND. In the next 1.5 hours, we will learn how he has used technology to democratize education, how he has awakened his fellow young people to embrace a mission to improve education access and quality of education in his country. He has inspired young Bangladeshis to become leaders for social transformation. Sharing in my excitement today are the members of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation's Board of Trustees, including Mr. Ramon R. Del Rosario, who will be serving as our moderator today. As you all know, we are truly, truly blessed to have Ramon on our board. The first Ramon Magsaysay Awards were given out in 1958 to outstanding individuals and organizations who exemplify what we call greatness of spirit. And greatness of spirit comes in various forms. It knows no boundaries, no race, no age, no gender, no limits. Recognizing the unique brand of social transformation that young people across Asia bring to the table, the foundation introduced a new awards category, the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Emergent Leadership. These are for young leaders that are 40 and below. In 2001, the first award for Emergent Leadership was given to Shantol Ong. This was shared by Dita Indasari of Indonesia for her resolute activism on behalf of working people and their place in Indonesia's evolving democracy. And Ong Shantol of Cambodia for rising courageously to confront and eliminate sex trafficking and gender violence in Cambodia. It sent a message that, again, greatness of spirit knows no age. This year, on our 65th year, we found greatness of spirit in another young person, KORVI RAKSHAND of Bangladesh. KORVI was born with privilege, but he was conscious of the deprivation of opportunities to many other people in Bangladesh. KORVI has since used his resources to help the underprivileged. In 1997, at 12 years old, he started organizing fundraisers in his school for impoverished families. Soon, he realized that something sustainable and impactful must be done. Eventually, he began teaching in the slums of Dhaka and turned it into an actual school in 2007. Later, in 2011, 9 years before the COVID-19 pandemic, he introduced the use of video conferencing for learners in the rural areas to receive instruction from teachers based in Dhaka. Such foresight in education technology allowed them to address the concern on learning continuity much, much better. At one point, KORVI had to choose between business or his self-described madness of getting into the development work. It goes without saying, but KORVI has chosen this madness of choosing passion for education. And thanks to him, young people today in Bangladesh have a fighting chance for a better and brighter future. This morning, we will all learn about how KORVI has turned this self-described madness for education, for teaching young people, even in the most remote parts of Bangladesh, into an advocacy of social transformation, and how he has embraced what others may call charity into his responsibility. So friends, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2023 Ramon Magsaysay Awardee for Emergent Leadership, KORVI RAKSHAND of Bangladesh. Yay! KORVI, hello.
Hello, Ms. Susan. Thank you so much. I would like to thank you and the entire trustee board of Ramon Magsaysay Foundation for giving the award, I will say, to our work. Because I always say that it can came under one name, but there was hundreds and thousands of people who have put effort to bring our work here today. And I am so excited that today we have connected all our 4,500 children in this session. They're watching it. There are thousands of volunteers watching it, because I thought we should celebrate it together. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, ever since, I had the privilege of bestowing and telling you that you were one of our awardees for this year, which is many months ago, you've always talked about the people around you, that you could never have done any of this without your team. And so it is just incredible that we have them all together. And so from Manila, I'm welcoming you all to this wonderful lecture. So let's get started, because I know they want to hear from you and our panel and our moderator. To minimize technological glitches, we have requested KORVI to actually pre-record his public lecture. After the video, he will rejoin us for a live discussion and a question and answer portion. So we now request everyone to please turn off your cameras and microphones so we can view KORVI's lecture. Let's begin.
Giving it to some of the families. I thought that will help them. Even with my honest intention, I actually made them a bit lazy because they knew everyone I will go with money to them. Then I thought, can I do something that is more sustainable? But because I grew in Dhaka, I had very less idea about Bangladesh. So I thought maybe I should travel a bit and learn about the people of Bangladesh. I started traveling in many districts. And in one of the districts, I saw some of the children playing beside a garbage can. I asked them, can I play with you? Because I actually want to know about their life. Then they told me that they're not playing, they're actually working. They're collecting piece of iron, plastic, and they sell those things, but they're living. So I told them, if you play with me, I will give you the money because I wanted to learn about their life. They all agreed, and we spent the whole day together. We were painting, we had some good food. While I was coming back, one of these girls, around 7 years old, she held my hand and she said, sir, thank you for the whole day. I don't have a place to go. Will you take me with you? And her second question was, I don't have a family. Will you be my father? I was 21 years old at that time. I did not know what to do. I asked myself, if I take her with me, will my family accept it? What will the society say? I had to leave that day with that guilt trip. When I came back, I talked with my friends and we decided we need to do something for the children. We went from one sub to another, trying to convince people that we want to help the children. But due to my name, a lot of people couldn't relate, couldn't understand. They thought we are here to convert their children to other religions. We had a hard time, but at last in Ireland, we were able to find 17 children. And that's where the story of Jacob Publishing started. And we decided that we want to teach English to the children because Bangladesh is a country which exports a lot of people abroad. And due to the communication skill, we cannot flourish in other countries where we see other countries' people are doing great. Convincing the parents, going from door to door, giving them rice, we were able to start the school. And interestingly, after a few months, the kids asked us, sir, when are we having our promotion? And that was a very important question for us, which means these children want to go to school. They want a promotion, they want a better life. That's when we converted Jago Foundation to a proper school. After we started the school, we got our first delivery. We were super excited.
একদমই নাই। গ্রুপে তো সাউন্ড আমার এখান থেকে
sustainable. But because I grew in Dhaka, I had very less idea about Bangladesh. So I thought maybe I should travel. Hello, everyone. My name is KORVI RAKSHAND. I'm the founder of Jago Foundation. It is an honor to receive this year's Ramon Magsaysay Award in the category of Emergent Leader. Today, I will take you with my personal journey of how we were able to take quality education in the most remote parts of Bangladesh and at the same time mobilize thousands of young people for community service. From a very early age, I used to raise funds and giving it to some of the families. I thought that will help them. Even with my honest intention, I actually made them a bit lazy because they knew everyone I will go with money to them. Then I thought, can I do something that is more sustainable? But because I grew in Dhaka, I had very less idea about Bangladesh. So I thought maybe I should travel a bit and learn about the people of Bangladesh. I started traveling in many districts. And in one of the districts, I saw some of the children playing beside a garbage can. I asked them, can I play with you? Because I actually wanted to know about their life. Then they told me that they're not playing, they're actually working. They're collecting piece of iron, plastic, and they sell those things for their living. So I told them, if you play with me, I will give you the money because I wanted to learn about their life. They all agreed, and we spent the whole day together. We were painting, we had some good food. While I was coming back, one of these girls, around 7 years old, she held my hand and she said, "Sir, thank you for the whole day. I don't have a place to go. Will you take me with you?" And her second question was, "I don't have a family. Will you be my father?" I was 21 years old at that time. I did not know what to do. I asked myself, if I take her with me, will my family accept it? What will the society say? I had to leave that day with that guilt trip. When I came back, I talked with my friends and we decided we need to do something for the children. We went from one slum to another, trying to convince people that we want to help their children. But due to my name, a lot of people couldn't relate, couldn't understand. They thought we are here to convert their children to other religion. We had a hard time, but at last in Wire Bazaar, we were able to find 17 children. And that's where the story of Jago Foundation started. And we decided that we want to teach English to the children because Bangladesh is a country which exports a lot of people abroad. And due to the communication skills, we cannot flourish in other countries, but we see other countries' people are doing great. Convincing the parents, going from door to door, giving them rice, we were able to start the school. And interestingly, after a few months, the kids asked us, sir, when are we having our promotion? And that was a very important question for us, which means these children want to go to school. They want a promotion. They want a better life. And that's when we converted Jago Foundation to a proper school. After we started the school, we got our first donation, a donation of $300. We were super excited, but we did not know what to do. We cannot make a school or a building with that money. So we thought we will buy uniforms for the school children. We bought the uniform, the school was happy, children were happy, we were happy. But after 7 days, when the children were coming to school, we saw that they were wearing the dirty uniforms and they were coming. And that's because some of the parents didn't have the money to buy soap, and some of them didn't have the concept. So that's when we started a call for hygiene program where we give them detergents and other stuff for the children. After a few days, when the kids were continuing the school, we realized that they're suffering from malnutrition. And that's when we started another program to provide them nutritious food. So it was just not about education, not just the school, but we had to take a holistic approach, making sure that we provide other things to the children. By this time, we already have 2 schools in Dhaka. But then you also realize everyone is working in Dhaka. What happens to the 90% of the population that is outside Dhaka? So we went outside Dhaka and we set up a school. It was actually a gift, which means it was even nicer. But after 6 months, we realized that with all our efforts, the students weren't doing same as the schools in Dhaka. And we tried to find out why. After a bit of research, we realized that a school can look very nice, but it is very important to have qualified teachers. We tried to give more money to the teachers to go outside and go to the remote parts and teach the children. But it's not just about money. It's about their future. It's about their children's future. And no one went. And that's where we thought, if I can sit in Bangladesh and through ICT using Skype, we can communicate with the whole world. Why can't we take our teachers virtually in those areas? Bangladesh laughed on us. The teachers were like, is that even a solution? But we were young, we were energetic. We thought, we can fail, but there's no harm in trying. And that's when we launched the digital school program. Let me take you to our digital school and show you how we operate our school. Welcome to online school. When we first started the online school, we weren't even sure if it will work. But the interesting part was, the students ask us, how is the television talking to them? In the television, usually you see celebrities. They're like, how is a celebrity teaching the student? They were really excited, and that worked out. But if you remember, when we were young, in our classroom, we just had a textbook, and whatever we could see was just a picture. But using the online system, we could go to YouTube, show a video of the topic, or sometimes if we're introducing a new country, we use Google Maps, and we take our students virtually to those places. In this way, the online school was really attracting and helping the students to understand the concept. Today, we're able to teach 30,000 students in all over Bangladesh at the Jago Foundation online school. And we hope that we'll be able to not only keep this model in Bangladesh, but also take them abroad to other countries where it is needed. When I started Jago Foundation, I was still in university. After my graduation, I was expected to take over my family business, or as I studied law, to become a lawyer. But I was really, really passionate about helping these children, working with these young people. And after my graduation, when my parents understood that this is my passion, they gave me an option of whether their business or my madness. And if I had to choose madness, I was asked to leave home. And that is when the real struggle and the real learning also started, because I moved out from my home and I stayed in the slum for 9 years. inside the school, inside the slum, in a room which was 8 feet by 10 feet. But I always take it as a blessing in disguise, because if that day my parents didn't give me that option, I would have never learned what real poverty is. From my understanding, poverty is not in the stomach, it's in the mindset. And education can only change that or break that. While doing all these things, we realized that there is no day dedicated for children in Bangladesh. But 20th November, United Nations have dedicated this day worldwide. So we thought, can we also celebrate this day in Bangladesh? Usually, when this day was celebrated in Bangladesh, it was done in a five-star hotel with the press. But our idea was, how can we make a way where everyone can celebrate this day so that people know about children's rights? So we thought, a group of young people, can we go on the street? And in Bangladesh, all these children on the street are begging or selling flowers. Can we give them a day off? So we took them to an amusement park and we replaced them, the rich children or the rich young crowd of Bangladesh. It was quite a surprise in the capital city of Bangladesh, because normally that is not what you see. And every single person was trying to be a part of it, was giving us money when we were giving them flower and talking about children's rights. And after celebrating that day, when all these young people saw that they can also make a difference with one step, they thought, can we also do something like that? They reached out to me saying, Aya, can we also do something? But my dream is about women empowerment. My dream is about climate change. And at that time, from Jago, we did not have the capacity to do everything. But I also realized that if me or Jago don't take the step, then who will? Because I come from a privileged background, but still I had to face so much problem from my family, community, due to the age and other stuff. So I thought, can we create a platform where young people can come together, like-minded people can plan something, and they can execute? And that is when Volunteer for Bangladesh was born. Only with 40 volunteers in Bangladesh who we work with different goals of SDGs, we launched Volunteer for Bangladesh. Interestingly, after a few months, people from other districts, young people from other districts started communicating with us, reaching out to us, and said, can we have a platform like that? Interestingly, today, Volunteer for Bangladesh is in every district in Bangladesh. So what we learned from here is that if we create a platform for young people, they will take it to the next stage. And that is how Volunteer for Bangladesh with the young people are trying to make a difference in the lives of the people of Bangladesh. Year 2020, March, the whole world got shut down. No education, no institution, everyone was at home. And that is when the world got to learn about online education. While everyone thought it is a solution, it was very worrying for us. Because for that, you need a computer, you need a smartphone at home. But the children that we were serving comes from very underprivileged background. And they did not have that. So we came up with the idea where our teachers can actually teach the students through telephone education. Our teachers were calling day and night. And why at night? Because some of the parents, they were working. They were working in different places. And that was the only phone that they had, which was with the father. And at night, when he went back, the teacher had to call and teach the child. While we were doing this for our children, because we have a long experience of online education, we started doing live in Facebook so that thousands of children who are staying at home can actually receive some sort of education. At the same time, we work with the government and other institutions, teaching them how they can deliver education using the same technology. And now that we have run the online education for a decade, we want to take it not only in remote parts of Bangladesh, but to the world where many countries face the same problem. Today, Jago Foundation have 30,000 children, 50,000 volunteers, 600 plus young people are working here and trying to make a difference. One important thing that I want to mention before I end my lecture. What do you do when you get a gift? Usually we keep them in a safe place. We clean them. We take care of them. This world is the best gift God have given us. And together, we need to take care of it. Thank you.
Wow, KORVI. Thank you so much and your entire Jago team for inspiring us. You are truly incredible. And so I would like to continue, obviously, our conversation this morning by turning over the session to our moderator, an esteemed trustee of the Ramon Magsaysay Foundation.
Susan, before we finish the lecture part, we would actually like to take you to one of our schools live connected right
great.
now. So
okay, please go ahead.
It is in a very remote part of Bangladesh in Gaibandha. So can we connect? So Samuel sir is our teacher. He will also show the school. And Samuel sir, can you walk us to the school?
Okay, sure. Thank you, everyone. This is Samuel Islam. I'm a teacher from Jago Foundation School, Gaibandha. Currently, I'm here at one of our present digital schools. I'd like to have a tour of my school. I guess you like it. Here you go. So there's the main entrance of our school. Let's walk in. Well, here's our beautiful premises. And on my left, there's the office room and few classrooms ahead. And to my right, there's community teachers room, library, and lab. Let's see what's upstairs. Meanwhile, this branch established in 2013. Since it's been 10 years, we have 270 students. All are educating from 10 different grades. And now I'd like to introduce one of our classes. That's grade 7. Hello, students. Okay, everyone. Thanks for having me. Good day.
Hello, students. And this is a live class. I would also ask the IT team to bring Kashmir Miss to the spotlight, to our teacher, and allow her to open her camera. At the same time, hi students, how are you all?
We are.
I am good, and today you're connected to the world. Usually you see the teacher, but today the whole world is seeing you. Anyone wants to say anything?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga. Hello, Miss. My name is Aduri Khatun. I'm reading class 7 at Jago Foundation School in Gaibandha branch. Gaibandha is a district in north of Bangladesh, which is around 260 kilometers away from Dhaka. Let me introduce all you to my classes and my dearest teacher. Thank you, Ramon Magsaysay Foundation, for giving us the award. And we will be very happy if you come to our country and visit us.
Thank you. So you all are invited by our students. And can we also have the teacher so we can see how the classes are taken? Just a small demo of how we operate our classes. Kashmir Miss.
Yeah. Hello, students. How are you all? Okay, please have your seat. So in this lesson, we will learn about ecosystem, right? You can see here, what is this? A plant. Okay, it looks very fresh, right? But if we don't water the plant or keep it away from the sunlight, does it look fresh? No. So nature do function that way. So can you please, any of you can explain what is an ecosystem? Simply just raise your hand. Okay, Rezwana, please stand up.
Ecosystem is a community of living organisms along with their natural habitat and the non-living components of their environment.
Okay, thank you so much. So, in an ecosystem, animals rely on each other for food. A food chain shows how energy passed from one living thing to another living thing. So, in our last class, we already make a chart of it, right? So, can someone give a demo or example of an ecosystem and food chain? Okay, Reshmi, please come forward.
In this chart, we have shown ecosystem and food chain. Ecosystem is a community of all living beings and non-living beings of our environment. We can see here also a food chain. Grass is eaten by insect and insect is eaten by frog. Also, frog is eaten by a snake. So, for our living, ecosystem and food chain is very important for us. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you, students. We just wanted to show that if there is a will, there is a way. We could not take our qualified teachers in the remote parts of Bangladesh, but digitally we did. And we have our teacher also at that part to support the students. And thank you, students. I know all other classes are connected right now. We couldn't bring everyone, but now we will actually go to our volunteers, who I always say are our strength, our inspiration. Can we have our volunteers spotlighted? So now we will take you to Chittagong, the port city, where the volunteers are planting trees. Saiful, you need to unmute yourself and say what is happening.
Hello everyone, greetings from VVD Chattogram district. And today we are having a tree plantation campaign. And as you can see that we are planting trees beside the canal, and here our volunteers are working. More than 50 volunteers are working, and they are planting trees here. And as you can see that everyone is working all together to combat the climate change. And as we all know that if we can plant more trees, we can combat the climate change. That's why we are doing this in our area.
Saiful, what is your role? Do you hold a position or what is your designation?
Hello everyone, my designation is I am currently holding the position of VVD Chattogram district, president of VVD Chattogram district.
So the reason I ask you is that these young people, they vote for their own presidency and other positions, and they decide, because we want to give the power, the decision-making power to the young people. We are just here to guide. Thank you so much, Saiful, for doing the wonderful work like that. There are 64 teams working in 64 districts with 50,000 volunteers. And here we want to end the lecture part and go to you guys if you have any questions. And thank you once again, Ramon Magsaysay Foundation Award.
No, KORVI, again, we just want to say how we are so inspired by you and the Jago team. In the Philippines, we say mabuhay, more power to you and to your team. And so at this point, I'd also like to turn over the moderation to one of our esteemed trustees, Ramon del Rosario, who is also very much into education in the Philippines. He's chairman and CEO of the FINMA Group of companies and chairman of the Philippine Business for Education. So Ramon, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Susan. First of all, let me say how pleased I am to be here and how honored I am. Thank you very much for this invitation to serve as moderator. I also want to express amazement at KORVI. I mean, you were very impressive on print, but watching your video and experiencing some of the work that you do and listening to you personally just makes me even much more impressed with you as a person and the work that you're doing. Now, if I may just start by asking a couple of questions that are related to each other. I guess it starts with the idea that you are doing such great work, and it would be wonderful if your work could be expanded many times over. And I'm sure there are all kinds of challenges. And one of the challenges that came to our attention as we were even reviewing your nomination was this question of sustainability, particularly in terms of the fact that you are offering your education for free. You're not charging anything. You're not generating revenues out of any of the operations. And I'm sure it is quite a costly operation. So we noted that you have been very successful through the years in organizing a group of corporations, individuals, institutions, and even multilateral agencies to provide you funding. But I guess the question really is how do you envision this being sustainable in the long run? And secondly, is this a handicap to further expanding your operations because of your reliance on donated funds? Let me start with that. I'm sure there are many other questions that others will have, but I wanted to start with the practical side of it. KORVI, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking the question, because this is a question that we often get asked. I think there's two types of sustainability when we talk about organizations like us. One is the governance, and other part is the funding. So as you asked about the funding, so from the first day, we knew that when the traditional donor comes, like the big donors come with a big amount of money, they give it for a short time to 3 to 5 years. But our promises for the children was that we will help them get education, proper education, a full 16-year education system. So rather than focusing on donors from the first day, we thought that if we can focus on individuals, because individuals do not stop donating money. It's one child versus one sponsor, and that relationship goes on, and we create the relationship so that usually the sponsors don't drop out. That's one. At the same time, we also realized that for individuals, giving a big amount of money when we need a classroom is not possible. That is when we went to the corporations, and now we have the donors. So these are the three fundraising streams that helps us. So if something happens to one, the other gives back up. But we also understand that situations like COVID have taught us that funding can go very small. So what we started is we started building an endowment fund for the foundation. So even if I am not there, if the fundraising team is not there, the endowment fund can actually help the foundation go. If you look at Harvard or Cambridge, so their big portion, when they give scholarship and stuff, come from endowment. So that's something that we have started, because we also realized that the amount of money, time and money required for businesses, I am not sure if that is the best solution, because we do not also want to divert our attention of providing quality education and more focused on raising funds through businesses. So that's how we are taking steps, but I am sure there'll be more and more solutions. People like you will guide us and help us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, KORVI. Now, to give the reactions and insights to KORVI's work and leadership journey, we have invited 3 individuals who are in leagues of their own when it comes to their respective fields. First, joining us from Karachi, Pakistan, Mr. Atid Riaz, a director and co-founder of the Ramon Magsaysay Awardee organization from Pakistan, the Citizens Foundation. Mr. Riaz and 5 like-minded friends founded TCF in 2005. The foundation adopts an improved version of the government-mandated curriculum, develops its own books and instructional materials, and runs intensive pre-service and in-service programs for its teachers. In 2014, the Citizens Foundation received the Ramon Magsaysay Award in recognition of the social vision of its founders and for their conviction that sustained civic responsiveness and quality education for all is the key to Pakistan's bright future. Ateeb, please.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting the wonderful foundation together. I won't talk about the wonderful work you've done because that will be duplicating and not saying it as well as you do. I liked the volunteer arm that you set up. So my first immediate reaction or question is this outside the foundation? Is it a separate organization or is it within JAGO?
So it is within JAGO in the sense that it doesn't have a separate registration, but the name and the branding and the ownership is given to the young people. It's called Volunteer for Bangladesh, because a lot of time they are also activists. They talk about human rights, they talk about other issues, they work with democracy and governance elections. So sometimes they face pressure, and we wanted to keep JAGO Foundation School education separate than that.
All right.
So
I understand. I understand. Okay, now tell me a little bit about the governance. Is there a board? Is it a limited company? Is it what we call a company limited by guarantee? What kind of responsibilities it has towards its governance and issues of governance?
So if I talk about the registration, it is registered as a non-profit organization in Bangladesh. It have a trustee board, and it is a trustee board of 27 people actually, because we took a lot of experts, because we work with education. We have education experts to help us with communication. We have communication experts. We have lawyers on the board, so that if there's any sort of problem or even to give us the best guidance. So that's how, and 60% of the board members are female, because we really focus on female education. You have seen all the students, most of the females were active, replying. So yes, and after the board, so that things didn't stop when I am not there, we created a management committee. And these are employees of JAGO Foundation, different directors, assistant directors. After the management committee, there's even a junior management committee. So creating a leadership pipeline so that they know how the foundation operates, the decisions that we take. So this is for the JAGO Foundation part. When we say about volunteer part, they also have boards, because we don't guide them. There's a bylaws, but other than that, anyone can become a volunteer. And after 6 to 8 months, they can apply to become a committee member. A committee member is a more committed member who has certain responsibilities and a voting power. What is the voting power? Voting power to elect their own board of that district, which means president, vice president, general secretary, and many other positions. So when they become board members, they can actually decide what sort of work their district will do, because not every district have the same problem. So one solution will not work everywhere. So they decide what is important from the SDG goals. So that's how the ownership is given to the volunteers.
Okay, fantastic. What is your exposure of your leadership besides yourself? Because, we have often seen one person has a dream, puts it together, is an icon of sorts. But if he's not there, the leadership is, people are not exposed to the leadership, and the leadership is not exposed to donors, vendors, etc. Is that well taken care of?
So initially when we started, this was a problem. So people will expect me to go, but now our donor wing is taken care of by one of our employees who joined 7-8 years back. She's taking care of it. Our education program is run by one of our employees who's 13 years is working at the foundation. So like that, our corporate wing is taken care of by other person. I try not to be present in every places, because the moment I am present, the attention goes there. So we have divided that part. Sometimes people do say things like, oh, JAGO has become big now, so we don't get KORVI. But I understand what is the expectation, but this is also important that they are there. So for example, usually in the board meetings, with me, I have my management committee and our junior management committee, so that the board also knows that it's not only focused on me. Sometimes it's tricky, it's hard. Sometimes people get sentimental, but that's the reality.
No, I understand. And coming from running something or being involved in something similar, we don't run it. Our model is different. But I can well understand what direction you've taken and what you're thinking about for the future. Just a final word before I sign off and hand the floor back on to the management is how is the financial sustainability segmented, which is individuals contribute what percent, corporations what percent, and multilateral agencies what percent of your annual budget, and what is the annual spend in dollars, if you may?
So right now, the total annual spend will be around $3 million. So
All right.
we're still growing. It's not very big, but $3 million. Among that, I will say that $1.5 million is around the donor funds, the big agencies.
Right, individuals, yeah.
And 60% is individuals and 40% is corporations, because corporations usually come when it's construction, buying books for the whole school. But running the day-to-day operations, especially the teacher's salary and stuff, comes from individuals, because in a school, the most important thing are the teachers. And that is where everyone lacks. We can have a beautiful school, but if the teachers are not there, so that's where we want to focus.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, back over the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Atid, for sharing those insights and questions. Joining Mr. Riaz is Mr. Jayton Sulweta, founder and president of AHA Learning Center in the Philippines. AHA Learning Center is a nonprofit organization that has helped over 3 million students get access to equitable education, trained over 180,000 parents and teachers through the DepEd, the Department of Education, and produced hundreds of educational TV and radio programs. Jayton has been recognized by many organizations in the Philippines and abroad. Most notably, he was one of the 10 outstanding young men of the Philippines in 2018. He was an Obama Foundation leaders, one of the Obama Foundation leaders in 2019, and an Ashoka Fellow in 2022. May we now turn over to Jayton.
Hello. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Thank you again to the Ramon Magsaysay Foundation for this opportunity to share. We are very similar in certain ways. We're not as big as Jago, but we also have kids that want to say hello all the way from Tondo, Philippines. Can we have a hello from Better World Tondo? You know, our internet isn't as good as Bangladesh, it seems, but they are watching, and they have prepared a small hello to all of you there at Jago Schools. I think we're having some technical difficulties. So I have a short reaction to the fantastic work of KORVI while we're waiting for the video to come through. You know, there's a lot of similarities. Again, we're not as big an organization as you have. Oh, there you go.
Welcome to Better World Tondo and AHA Learning Center. We hope to meet you soon. Love from the Philippines!
Very nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. That represents thousands of kids that we have. They're excited to get to know you, to meet you, and get inspired by you. And hopefully we can have a situation where we can write to each other like pen pals, no? So
that would be great.
You know, like the similarities are quite a bit. The way we started, I went to a public cemetery instead of a slum to play with kids. The way that you are very much in line with the fact that you feel like it's a community effort. I will not be here and do what I do without my fantastic team, most of whom are watching. Cess, Joella, all these people that are working with us, Julius, all over the country. And I think what I was most impressed by the presentation is how you didn't scale just a learning system. You scaled your culture of compassion, your culture of innovation. And that's what scales, right? Culture scales. Culture is actually a collection of habits, if you think about it. If you want to see some success in education, if my son Arturo comes home from school with a bad report card, it's not necessarily, I'm not looking at the report card necessarily, just the grade. I'm more worried about the habits that led to that report card. If he is continuing to slack off, if he doesn't have necessarily the best support system, those results will continue. And what I'm most impressed by wasn't only the innovation, but how you have built a culture of these habits which not only inspire, but create growth and love for learning. If Turo, let's say my son, Turo, which means teach in the Philippines. Teach for the Philippines is the next speaker, but Turo means teach in the Philippines. But if he came home and he said that he joined KORVI's program, in spite of his bad grades, knowing the culture and the habits that he'll build there, I think I'll bet on him that he'll do better next term. And I think the interesting thing about your work is how it's not only a culture of one student, but supported by a culture of helpers and volunteers. It only made stronger. Our advocacy is an empathy-informed learning system, and our whole thing at AHA Learning Center is the recognition that if you want to make a change in your life, it's a difficult decision. You might not be ready to make this big change. You might have been spending years and years getting stuck in these learning outcomes, and you need a support system, a community. And to all of you here from KORVI's program, from Jago, I can see a community of learners and teachers. And I'm sure the students become teachers themselves. And that's so inspiring. I think one of the only question that I might have to you is possibly in terms of unlocking that potential. Once they go through the Jago system and you talk about active citizenship, what do the next 5 to 10 years look like? Before you answer that, that would be mostly my question to you. I know that you're looking abroad, but if we're looking at the roadmap for these learners who have been empowered, who are learning how to learn and loving how to learn, what other skills can they learn? In our country, which is in the middle of a tumultuous period, we find that education, while in crisis, is showing beams of hope. And we believe that this culture of creating hope isn't a culture of just believing or just thinking about it, but a culture in action. So from all across the world, I see that the dreams that we have for the Philippines is possible and is already being done in Bangladesh. I'd love to learn from you. I'd love to work with you. And hearty congratulations from the bottom of our heart. To the students there, I will teach you one word in Tagalog before I leave. Are you ready? Thumbs up if you're ready to learn in Tagalog. Yes. Umaapaw. Can we say that? Umaapaw.
Umaapaw.
Umaapaw. Umaapaw. There you go. I can see you. Congratulations. Jago, very good teacher, right? Maybe I can teach, right? But umaapaw. Umaapaw means overflowing. Overflowing. You're overflowing with knowledge. You're overflowing with potential. You're overflowing with purpose. Use that, protect that. It's uncommon. Not all of us are as lucky to have that sort of education. And bring about it to the rest of your life so that you can dream not only for yourself, but for your country, the beautiful Bangladesh. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayton. Would you like to repeat that question? Would you want an
Yes,
answer?
sir. Yes, sir. I'll ask that question again. I suppose that after they go to Jago, right, you have a particular roadmap for your students, or a vision about how they can foster your ultimate end game of becoming active citizens.
First of all, Jaden, thank you for the nice words. Secondly, you are a you're not a good teacher only, you're a great teacher, how you have just interact with the students. And I will also say that this is a real example of how a person sitting in Philippines can actually take a class in Bangladesh. That just happened right now in front of the whole world. And if you tell me what is my aspiration, I can tell you, because I still don't know. Only the first batch of students graduated. And you might have said that as an example, but it is real that the first batch of students, 2 of the female students have graduated and they joined back Jago as teachers. And 1 boy, he joined in the admin team. So they're already coming back to the job market. And our idea was that if I am teaching someone for 16 years with giving them proper access to education, quality education, English language, maths, we don't want them to become a rickshaw puller or a tuk-tuk driver after that. They have to break that cycle of poverty. And what we did was, from one family, we always try to take 1 student so that we can pull out entire family, 1 family. So next, when they have younger brothers or if they're married, they know what's the importance of education, and the entire cycle have to get out, not only that child. So that's our vision. And I will just tell you one story that the first day when I asked the students, what do you want to become? They said, I want to become a rickshaw puller. Another boy said, I want to become a CNG driver. And their highest dream was a driver of a yellow cab. And those students, one of the students later said, I want to become a pilot. And right now, that boy said, I don't want to become even a pilot. I want to make planes. And he's learning how to make planes. So that is our vision. We don't want to stop anywhere. Whoever wants to go. But I also know that the background they're from, not everyone will make it. That's why we're also taking the route of vocational training, so that some of them will have a lot of family pressure to start earning faster. So they will do the diplomas, and the route is also open for that. So it is the choice of the students, the family, and the situation. We do not want to dominate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, KORVI, and thank you very much, Jayton, for those insights. We now move to our 3rd panelist, Mr. Mavi Ahmed, Chief Executive Officer of Teach for the Philippines. Teach for the Philippines focuses its efforts on improving teacher quality and addressing education challenges at the system level. As mentioned earlier, Mavi of Teach for the Philippines cannot be with us today because of the complications about her schedule, as she attends a conference in Kenya. However, she has sent us a recorded reaction to KORVI's lecture.
Good morning. It's an honor to react to Mr. KORVI RAKSHAND's lecture on breaking the cycle of poverty through education. Education is often regarded as the cornerstone of a nation's progress and development. It's the key that unlocks the door to a brighter future. In the Philippines and Bangladesh, 2 nations with rich and diverse cultures and storied histories, there are compelling parallels in our education systems, and the challenges that both our nations face in this regard are urgent and complex. Both the Philippines and Bangladesh struggle with ensuring equitable access to quality education for millions of children. In our own lived experience in Teach for the Philippines, we also often see poverty, lack of infrastructure, and broader economic challenges compounding these problems and driving glaring disparities across sectors, with marginalized populations often getting the short end of the stick. In order for the Philippines and Bangladesh to adapt to globalization and technological advancements, and more importantly, to build a more just society through it all, concerted efforts must be made across multiple actors to create opportunities for as many as possible, to ensure that prosperity and economic growth are shared by all. In this context, it is imperative to highlight the inspiring leadership of individuals like KORVI RAKSHAND, which the Ramon Magsaysay Award has deservingly recognized, and the pivotal role that organizations like Jago Foundation and Teach for the Philippines play in changing the status quo. Leaders such as Mr. RAKSHAND and civil society organizations like the ones we represent advocate for reform and equity, serve as bridges between communities, governments, and schools, push for policy changes, raise awareness about critical issues, and foster community and youth engagement. Mr. RAKSHAND is an exemplar of this, and his journey from Bangladesh to global recognition is truly galvanizing. He chose a path of vision and dedication in education, recognizing its transformative power. He stayed the course, despite many reasons to quit. He stayed on because he understood that he had a mission and that he had a purpose. Mr. RAKSHAND's story also demonstrates that rigor, creativity, and innovation are indispensable tools for addressing the complex challenges in education. So are tenacity and resilience in the face of ambiguity. This spirit resonates with us in Teach for the Philippines, and it's incredibly heartening to find allies in this important work. In a rapidly evolving world where traditional solutions often fall short, fresh perspectives and imaginative approaches are essential. Jago Foundation's commitment to leveraging technology and new ways of doing points educators and policymakers to innovative methods that meet children who need the most support where they are. By embracing creativity and agility, Jago Foundation shows all of us a pathway for breaking away from conventional models, fostering a culture of continuous improvement and adaptation, and ultimately creating a more dynamic environment that prepares learners for the challenges of the future. Mr. RAKSHAND and Jago Foundation stories remind us of the boundless possibilities within education, calling us all to work towards ensuring that every child can learn, dream, and achieve. They remind us that effective leadership and the commitment of civil society organizations such as ours can be important driving forces behind education transformation. No one can change a system alone, but it's important to remember that we all play a part, and our individual and incremental contributions can make a meaningful difference someday. Thank you, Mr. RAKSHAND, for your work and your commitment to our shared cause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mavi. Would you like to react, KORVI?
Oh, what a great, motivating speech. And interestingly, we closely work with Teach for Bangladesh here. In fact, when Teach for Bangladesh started here, they actually placed their first teachers inside Jago Foundation School. So I think it will be great to see, because as I say, that we want to take this model in different parts. And knowing Philippines situation, the islands and all, I am really looking forward that if there's any partnership that we can have to learn the situation of education in Philippines, and maybe we can partner together to see if we can open schools like Jago model in Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to entertain some questions from our virtual audience. Some questions have come in. Let me start by asking one of the questions that has appeared in our Q&A. The question really has to do with internet connectivity and the challenges that poses. The question is, what are the most effective ways to integrate technology into the classroom for both teachers and students? How do you ensure all students have equal access to technology and digital resources? And what role do teachers play in ensuring that technology is used effectively as a learning tool? If I may maybe add a little bit more of a component to this, you have a teacher teaching on video, and you have a local teacher teaching in the local school. To what extent do the two of them correspond or coordinate with each other so that the lessons are well coordinated? And what is the process that you do to achieve that? Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, I will say that the connection that you saw today, it wasn't like this when we started. In the middle of the classroom, maybe sometimes the internet got disconnected. Today, it's better. Our government has taken a vision of digital Bangladesh, but it took time to achieve that. So almost every day after the class, they sit to prepare the next day's lesson. this is how what happens is that teachers in the rural parts are also getting developed. So there's an inbuilt teachers training model inside. So they know what happens, because still now sometimes the electricity might go away. Even it's not about just the internet. Electricity itself can be very challenging. And to use technology, I will say that when we started with Cisco software called WebEx. Later on, we went to Google Meet, because with low bandwidth, you can also reach rural areas. It is free, it is cost effective, but also solutions like Starlinks are coming to the world. And then we can even go to more remote parts where we couldn't even imagine. So technology will keep evolving, and we need to adjust with that. I think that is how we have grown from dial-up connection to broadband connection to, in future, satellite connection. And teachers, they prepare the lesson, they discuss it with the other parts. It's also very important. Internet and the technology is a medium, but the person who's running this medium is the teacher. So we often do teachers training. How do teachers take advantage of this medium? Because it's not just the lecture. They prepare presentations. They show these presentations through the online classrooms. Sometimes they will go to YouTube to download videos, maybe Google Maps to take them to some other countries. So the teachers training is very important, because this whole methodology is also new for the teachers. So it's important that we have equipped teachers, not only just qualified ones, but who are also digitally connected and understands.
Thank you, KORVI. Another interesting question has to do with the reaction of the local leaders to the schools that you set up. How do community level leaders, for example, in our country, there are mayors and governors and all kinds of local officials. How do community leaders in all levels perceive your initiative? Do you ever receive any form of opposition from these leaders? And how do you handle these? And what other hurdles do you face, if any, when you do your work at the local communities?
So initially, when we started, yes, there was a lot of questions that what sort of school is this that teaches through television? How is that possible? So to make them believe, what we did was we actually invited them, come to the classroom, sit. So there were benches at the back for them to sit and see what is going on. And interestingly, some of them started, they requested that, can I send my child, because this is the only English version school in the entire community. So we said, this is for poor people, we cannot. So by inviting them, we actually make them on board, because not only the local political leaders, but also religious leaders thought, what is going on? Why are you teaching English? Are you trying to make them convert them to other religion? So that was a big problem for us. So we also had to invite them that we have nothing to do with religion. Each children have their own religion, that is to them. But our work is to just provide quality education, make their imagination beyond this classroom. It should be bigger, like our world. So yes, by including them, we minimized it.
Thank you, KORVI. I have a final question for you, and maybe for those in the panel who wish to participate in this question. My question really has to do with educating. We too are interested in the work of providing good quality education to the underserved sectors. My question really has to do with, when you started doing this some 15, 17 years ago, you must have had concepts in your mind about what it would take to educate these people in this sector. But I'm sure that through the years of your experience, you have learned more things about the communities that you are trying to address and serve. And I'm wondering, what would you consider to be some of the more important learnings that you have had through the years in dealing with these communities? And how do you use these learnings to further improve the work that you're doing?
Thank you. That is a great question, because every day we are learning new things. So I'll tell you the story of when we initially went in the slum. We were chased out of the slum because they thought we were there to convert their children to other religion. So what I've learned is that when people don't know you, it's very easy for them to make a judgment, take a decision. So whether it's the community, whether it's some other stakeholder, what my biggest learning was that do share what you are doing. Sometimes we think they will not understand. Oh, they're not educated, so we do not need to talk to them. No. When we were able to bring the parents on board, the struggle of dropout reduced hugely. How did we do that? We created clubs where the parents talk to each other, we explain them. So that's one. The government was concerned, what is going on? What is this model? When we invited them, they took us to an island and said, this is an island where education is really not good. Can you help us? So if we can bring those stakeholders, starting from our sponsors to corporates, my biggest learning is that you have to bring people on board and they will become your biggest supporter. The government is now very happy knowing that this is what we are doing. Even I had the opportunity to meet the Prime Minister to share that I have received this award. She was very excited. She's waiting to see the award. So you see, also these things helps us. I think bringing people on board is my biggest learning.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Would Atid and Jayton wish to chime in on this question?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. Our experience is slightly different. We were more or less did not have opposition because we concentrated on the language being the local language, which is Urdu. And I think secondly, because we had formal buildings going up in very poor areas, it was a source of comfort. When we started 28, 29 years ago, the people told us that this is both a demand side problem and a supply side problem. But when we trained our teachers to go into homes and sit with mothers, because all our teachers are female, we found the reception warm and the cooperation extended, and they started sending their girls to school. Also, our model was to park it in the heart of the neighborhood. We have neighborhoods where we may have 4 or 5 schools in the same neighborhood so that girls can walk to school. So the demand supply side problem eventually has reduced now that the demand is now much, much more. In 28 years, the awareness has increased. It's only a question of how many schools we can supply and how many children we can get in. We expect to cross 300,000 next year, but we've also gone into training teachers because a lot of schools in Pakistan are low-cost, privately run schools. So we started a teacher training program, which is all digital technology training for very low-paid, non-trained teachers on how to make lesson plans, how to formulate a class, how to do their own homework to get that going across. So things are changing and changing rapidly and for the positive, I think. This is our experience.
Thank you, Atid. Jayton?
I think that you really just need to focus on the problem the community wants to solve first. And if the problem to them isn't apparent or necessary, then it will take a long time for them to come through. I feel over the last 18 years that I've been trying to do versions of AHA Learning Center, the experience of looking at a problem that feels like it will never be solved needs to have a form of reflection between you, the community, and trying to figure out, okay, I might not solve the huge problem of illiteracy everywhere, but here are the simple steps that we need to do to figure it out. In our country, in the Philippines, what is sexy is to scale everywhere as much as possible within a year or 2 years. I find that what I'm learning from my work is that you need the time not only to focus on particular areas, but also to create communities of practice and create the proper data that you can share everywhere else. So over the last couple of years, my dreams have gotten smaller and bigger at the same time. Smaller since we're focusing, bigger since we're really trying to solve these problems on a person-to-person level.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jayton. I see a common thread that to solve some of these issues, you really need to build communities around the problems. It has to be almost all of society coming together, working towards a common purpose. This is a very rich discussion, and I wish we could go on, but I guess we do have to move on. We do have time constraints. I'd like to pass it on now to Joy Alampay, the director of the Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Learning Leadership Institute. For the rest of the program, thank you very much. It's been my pleasure. I think I will come back towards the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramon.
Joy.
Thank you, Ramon, and good afternoon to everyone. It's a very stimulating discussion. There are so many questions on our chat box, on our from our live audience in live stream, and also on Facebook. But I think, Susan, we would need a part 2 for this lecture. So, KORVI, I think we need to invite you again and have a part 2 and perhaps a part 3, because there seems to be a lot of issues that have come up. But before we end this part of the program, I am indeed very pleased to welcome your co-awardee, KORVI, our 2023 Ramon Magsaysay awardee, Mr. Eugenio Ego Lemos from Timor-Leste. Mr. Lemos will be sharing with us his thoughts on education and volunteerism, 2 of the pillars of his work on sustainable agriculture and food security in his country. Ego, welcome, please. I think you're on mute, Mr. Lemos. Okay, there you go.
Still no sound.
Oh. Okay. There is still no sound.
Maybe you could take the headphones off and talk. Maybe that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome again, Ego.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's a greeting from Dili, Timor-Leste. So thank you, KORVI, for your presentation. It's a touch my heart, and especially looking into how you mobilize the young people to, especially what struck me on voluntarism. Because even for us in Timor-Leste or East Timor is the challenge to bring together young people to do a volunteer work is so challenging. But so far in Timor, we've been trying to do one activities is relate to the education. Is we working with Ministry of Education to introduce a school garden program. So the school garden program called permaculture gardening in school. So it's I can see from your presentation the young people planting the trees. It's really also inspiring me about how to involve these young people more into this kind of education and focus on environmental rehabilitation. So with the school garden, 2015, we've been advocating through the government, and we've been doing so many piloting until the 2015. The Timor-Leste government, especially Ministry of Education, is adopted this program into the national curriculum. So now the school garden program is become a compulsory subject throughout the country. So, and again, it's still embryonic, still new program for the country, but we keep doing it more. So far, we've been established over 254 school garden across the country. So hopefully we could do more in the next coming years with the support of the teachers, the community, and also our government. And the other program that PERMATIL focus on is called water restoration, or we used to call planting water, because Timor is a tropical country, and right now we are facing El Nino, a dry season. It's a long dry season. So many springs, water sources has been dry. So with these activities, PERMATIL have been doing since 2004. We try to working with local community, especially young people, how to restoring the water sources by digging a retention pond or reservoir on top of the hills to capturing rainwater to recharge back to the ground to feed into the springs and the stream. And by then we could make the earth, the soil is cool, and then replenish the environment as well as reviving the springs. So this program we've been doing with young people. We have the very famous program in Timor called Permaculture Youth Camp. So we call Perma Youth Camp. So Perma Youth Camp is being we've been running for 11 time now, and now it's become iconic for Timor, and now it's already adopted by the government, especially the Ministry of Education, Minister of Youth, Sport, and Art and Culture. So they adopting this program into the national program of the government. So with this, we are mobilizing young people. So to again, as your presentation, KORVI, is trying to motivate our young people to enter the environmental sectors and agricultural sectors, and also in the more important is to educate them to be a future leader who care about the earth. So I think, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ego. We look forward to your lecture later on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Joy?
Yes. Thank you so much, Ego, for that, for all your reflections. And indeed, it is only possible to have social transformation with the active participation of our youth and your citizenry. We hope to amplify that in the Philippines as well. And just for the information of the audience, we will be looking forward to your own lecture next week, October 25. So we will be seeing you then. Thank you, Ego. And to cap, yes, to cap our yes. And to cap our discussions for today, we'd like to turn over the floor again. Sir Ramon, over to you po.
Sure, very, very briefly. I think we all share the passion, and I include myself in this, in the idea that education is really one of the best means to improve the lives of people. If we are interested in addressing poverty, there is really no solution better than good quality education and making this accessible to the sectors that are underserved. And all of the KORVI in particular, but our other panelists also are involved in that mission of trying to get good quality education accessible to more and more of our people throughout Asia. And I just wanted to say what I said earlier, that it is really very clear that the mission of providing good quality education involves communities of people who are interested in working together. And one of the great ideas behind the Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Leadership Institute is this whole idea of bringing together Ramon Magsaysay laureates with the issues of the day and trying to tap into their wisdom and their experience in looking for solutions that can be applied not only in Asia, but throughout the world. So I think we learn from each other and we are able to collaborate better by speaking to each other, but also probably equally important, hopefully we inspire others to join in this effort. So once again, I wish to thank everybody for this opportunity for me to be part of this. Congratulations again, KORVI, and thank you for your wonderful lecture. Thank you, Atid and Jayton, for your participation, and Ego too. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
At this juncture, we would like to request for a photo opportunity. Joining us in this photo opportunity is KORVI RAKSHAND, Mr. Ramon Del Rosario, Ms. Susan Afan, Mr. Atid Rias, Mr. Jayton Zulveta, and Ms. Joy Alampay. May we request our panelists to give us their big smiles in 3, 2, 1, and another in 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Are we good to go?
No.
Are we good to go? Okay.
No,
God bless. Thank you.
You know, again, I just wanted to say thank you, Ramon, for facilitating. Atid, shukriya. Thank you for you know, sharing as well, you know, all of your years of experience with us. Jayton, salamat for inspiring all of us. And of course, KORVI, Donyabad. We can't wait to see you in Manila. And I also want to thank my RMAF's team as well. That's included with the members of the Board of Trustees as well, and the behind the scenes people that work tirelessly to make these lectures happen. And to
One
everyone
little, one little interruption for KORVI. If you ever get to the Prime Minister's office, there's a Mr. Salman Rahman of Beximco, right, who works very closely with her. Give him my regard. He's my class fellow from school.
I will. He's a big supporter of Jago Foundation.
Yeah, tell him he knows about Citizens Foundation, and tell him my salam alaikum and best wishes. Okay.
I will.
Wonderful. Now, Atid, are you coming to Manila in November?
I am unfortunately not, but Ehsan and Mushtaq, my fellow founders, are.
See, so two of the fellow founders of TCF will be in Manila. So I'm sure they will speak to you as well.
Yes,
so
sure.
again, we are all looking forward to seeing everyone. Thank you and maraming salamat. Goodbye from Manila.
Goodbye, blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Before we close today's program, we would like to inform everyone of what the Ramon Magsaysay has in store for its 65th anniversary. The next lecture will be delivered by Eugenio Lemos of Timor-Leste on October 25, 2023 from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Manila time. You are all invited to watch the 65th Ramon Magsaysay Awards presentation ceremonies on November 11, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. Manila time. It will be streamed live on our Facebook and YouTube accounts. We would like to thank the official media partners for the 65th Ramon Magsaysay Awards Festival season, NHK World Japan, and Associated Press. To be updated with all our activities, we invite everyone to follow the Ramon Magsaysay Award on social media. You will find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. To learn more and be updated about KORVI's and Jago Foundation's work, you may follow their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Lastly, please do not forget to evaluate today's program by scanning the QR code shown on the screen or opening the link posted in the comment section in Facebook and YouTube.
The lecture will be available for replay on YouTube, so watch out for it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, children. Thank you, KORVI, and to the Jago team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did I say that correctly? Donyabad.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.